It's the final deception. Lies, actually. This is not the final deception. It is nearly... We've simply leveled up to level 4. It's time to start from the top again. Laverna's episode 4, which is probably going to be something pretty significant since it's locked with the silver key, which is the highest level of key we've gotten and used thus far. We have 3 of them. Which feels like, if we consider the keys as a means of controlling, at least gating some sort of plot progression behind seeing other bits of plot, then this episode it's probably going to reference a good bit of what's happened already. One-armed bandit. Ah, another day, another crime. It's a little perverse, but I did get a little excited whenever I was called to a crime scene that I knew nothing about. I mean, it's sad. Very sad. I wasn't so far gone that I didn't acknowledge the horrors of crime and all. That's why I called it perverse. I knew it was wrong. Still, for someone curious like me, hearing about a new crime, new mystery, it was a little exciting. Just a little bit. I took a deep breath in, and then let a deep breath out. Calm down. Get steady. Remember who you were. I'm Laverna Smith, slightly eccentric private investigator. I was here to solve the case I was called in to consult on. And that was my role. Okay. Alright. With that in mind, let's go. I walked forwards to the store. Milo's, huh? I hadn't had a chance to eat here before. No idea if it was supposed to be good or bad. Oh, is this the fire that we caused in Thane's episode 3? Probably wouldn't get another chance to check during the investigation. I started walking towards the store. By the front I saw 2 familiar faces in a tense conversation. Pandora. Okay, just keep that between the 2 of us, please. I'm not really supposed to give away any investigation details. You? Right. Don't worry, I'm good to my sources. You won't be named. Then you can't get in trouble. Oh, I don't think that's really going to work. Every time an anonymous source of the police speaks up on a case when I'm around, everyone at the force assumes it's me. It's totally a pain. It usually is, right? That's not the point. Alright, jeez. Look, we'll just have to work something out, okay? Okay. Why are you still amenable to this? In the meantime, let's expand a bit more. You're saying that the Duats stole from this store. Allegedly, yeah. Do you believe that? Seems pretty obvious. So the Duats' guilt is obvious then. Checks boxes. In that case, can we expect arrests from this little incident? If that's not the case, what does that say about the Panthean police force? A fair point. Well, I mean, if they can't even arrest the Duats in an obvious incident, that's not a good look, huh? That's not. People are already losing faith in this police force. There have even been disturbing rumors about collusion. How are the people here supposed to feel safe? If even in an obvious case of Duat guilt, the Duats remain untouched. As fun as it was to just stand at the side and listen, this was probably as good a chance as I'd get to interject. I probably should interject, all things considered. If I want to keep up my good relationship with the police force, that is. Walked up to Thane and Pandora. Or would you quit it with the bullying, Thane? Bullying? Me? I'd never. Then how exactly would you characterize the interaction between you and this strong, upstanding officer right here? I'm just asking some hard-hitting questions. Bullies hit hard. Quod erat demonstratum. Damn. Look, Laverna, I'm just doing my job. Your job requires badgering poor people with unfair questions. That must be a sad profession. You won't hear me denying it. Still, somebody's got to do it. I maintain it's a pretty fair line of questioning. The police can't even arrest the Duats when they're obviously committed a crime, and the people deserve to know. I have not yet been familiarized with the case, so I can't speak definitively. All I'll say is that oft all that glitters is not gold. The truth of the matter is rarely what it seems. You're saying the Duats might be innocent? Who's to say? What I'm saying is that whoever is guilty shall be captured and prosecuted. On that, you can count on. Ah, so they got you consultant again. Thought that obvious, but my very presence. Fair. So I can count on an arrest to report on. The culprit is inside the building, unquestionably. Well, that is exciting now, isn't it? Guess I'll be rooting for you then. Kane's face remained unwaveringly punchable. Whatever. I had diffused the situation. Hopefully Pandora would be somewhat grateful. I checked the time. Alright, that's been long enough. I had to actually get to the crime scene by now. Walked over to the restaurant's entrance and opened the door. Lav! Like clockwork. I was going to respond. Then I felt my phone buzz. Ah, finally. Pulled out the phone and turned on the speaker. Eris, I'm at a crime scene. Phone Eris? Wow, you at a crime scene? I wouldn't have guessed. Sarcastic as ever, it seems. Hi, Olaf. Pretentious as ever, it seems. Could we get to the point? As I said, I'm at a crime scene. I don't exactly have infinite time on my hands. Sure seems like it sometimes. Eris? Look, you're the detective. Surely you can sleuth out why I'm calling you. It's not hard to guess. There's only one reason you'd be contacting me. It's about the matter I asked you to look into, right? Oh. Okay, interesting. And circle gets the square. You know, must be keeping the bickering. Yes, that's what siblings do. I, for one, am adult enough to put the past behind us. When I think of you, I think adult. Yep, absolutely. Eris? Look, now's not a good time. Like I said, crime scene. We can talk about the matter later. Fine. I'll just call you back soon enough. Before I could speak anymore, Baldera walked over and cut in. Hey, Eris. It's me, Baldera. Remember me? We're friends here. We're friends now, right? I'm here too. You are just as... I clicked the red hang-up button. Goodbye. Hey, Lav. That was a wee bit rude. a wee bit. I'm aware. Why'd you hang up on her? Because I know my sister. Whatever she was about to say was not going to be pleasant. Say the dignity of all three of us, cutting the snake off at the pass is simply optimal. Cutting the snake off? Damn. Harsh. I like it. Thought you said you were adult enough to put the past, Lav. And you heard how she responded to that. Trust me, Eris is lost cause. Did you have your phone on speaker? I still left her drift to the wayside. What was that thing you asked her about? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, that? Just, you know, a thing for another case I asked her to look into for me. Loath as I am to admit it, I'm not particularly tech-savvy. Eris, on the other hand, learned coding back in high school. And now she is a elite hacksaw, as she likes to say. It's just simpler to lean on her every now and then for help. Oh, I understand. Anyway, Lav, how are you? How have you been keeping up? Feels like forever since we hung out. It wasn't. But it feels like it, no? Too true. Too true. And a very welcome to you too, Seth. Looking jovial as ever, I see. Thanks. Oh, I assume Baldera called for your consultation again. How astute, Seth. Sorry? Baldera, you really have to start doing this through official channels. What's the fun in that? Be grateful Arion is busy. That's all I have to say. I assume I would not be called if it wasn't warranted. Yes. I mean... Okay. I think I get it. It's obviously not on fire, so that can only mean one thing, and that this is the murderer that Milo snitched on that led to his death. This isn't so much of a whodunit as it is a howdunit. Well, that's getting a bit ahead of ourselves, isn't it? Oh, really, Seth? Don't tell me you're buying anything the Duats are saying. I'm just saying, assumptions are bad for clear-headed investigations. Seth is entirely correct. Certainly assumptions are useful in terms of tipping the probability of possibilities. To ignore preconceived notions is to disregard previous cognitions, a complete waste of useful mental effort. However, crimes are already the realm of the unnatural. If ever there were times to bet on 00, it would be times such as these. It's a simple matter. Before I could say anything else, I was interrupted by a loud shout. Oh, that does it. The man who was obviously the owner of this restaurant, Milo, had seemingly had enough. Enough of what? Who's to say? Anyway, he lunged out at the man facing him down. Yi, Duats senior officer. Yi, for his part, just took a few steps back. Before Milo could catch up, Seth was able to rush over and grab Milo, restraining him. Easy. Easy, man. Calm down, please. This man walks into my restaurant, intimidates me, steals from me, and he's the gall to insult me. To my face. I'll stand for this. Hey, easy, buddy. I was just suggesting some improvements you could make to the decor. I think of myself as a man of high aesthetics. Just a little friendly advice. You insult this restaurant. I'm pointing out places that could be improved. This restaurant has fed this city for decades. The decorations are tradition. I respect that. But then again, tradition is a prison with majority opinion, the modern jailer. From him. Oh, fuck off. Let's all take a moment to breathe, shall we? Crime scenes create a lot of pressure. Hostility is perhaps warranted, but it is not useful. So then, repeat after me. In. Out. Nobody joined in with me. There, is that not preferable? And who are you supposed to be? Laverna Smith, private investigator. Absolute pleasure to be of service. Ah, detective. I can respect that. Nice to meet you. Likewise. The damn detective is fraternizing with criminals. I'm doomed. Criminals? Now, Milo, why on earth would you say that? You. Yea, please, don't provoke him. I'm not doing anything to provoke anybody. Wouldn't dream of it. Oh, I already don't like you. Could we just get on with it? Oh, hi, Thane. I've already wasted too much time with this frivolity. These arguments serve no point. Ah, I completely agree. You'll get to the heart of the matter in a moment. However, a quick sidebar, if you would. Grabbed a hold of Seth and Baldera and took a few steps away. Apologies for my ignorance, but what's with the person covered head to toe in black who is also wearing a mask? Wait, seriously, Lav? You don't know about the Shadow of Panthea? Well, that's a surprise. I've heard the name. I'm unfamiliar with the concept. She's the biggest, baddest Duat member there is. If they want to intimidate someone, that's the guy they send. He's one of their top-ranking officers. He's mighty horrifying. Only trouble is he's always in that dark getup. Getup that can be bought, theoretically, by combining a number of things. Makes narrowing any crime with him involved out a hell of a lot harder. At this point, it'd probably be worth it for Governor Aisha to just ban that outfit altogether. Feels like there might be some constitutional issues with that idea. Constitution's just a document. That's the spirit, Baldera. It is? Regardless, I believe I have a better understanding of the facts. My thanks to that end. That's it. It's proper for him to wear that getup during investigation. We already had him take off the mask and confirm his identity. For that, we don't really have the authority to make him stop wearing that outfit. We would if we had a warrant or something, but we don't. Okay, yeah, we can't stop him. Still, it's pretty messed up for him to just ignore our suggestions. You're surprised by that? A little. Okay. You'll simply proceed as is. His appearance shall simply make this whole matter more visually interesting. If you say so. I turn back towards everyone else. Very well then. As you might know, I am late to the party, so to speak. Since the crime has been henceforth unsolved, I think it would be useful for everybody if we litigated the events as they stand. Unsolved? There's nothing to be solved. These guys stole my fucking vase. Easy, Milo, easy. Going to hurt my feelings with all these reckless accusations. You. Wait, this whole thing's just about a stolen vase? Just a stolen vase? Just a stolen vase? Vase is a priceless heirloom. It's been in my family for decades. It's priceless, more than priceless. It belongs in the museum. And you kept it in a safe. What an affront to the arts. You. Aha. Ye? How'd you know it was kept in the safe? Because we said that point about a half a dozen times up until now. Oh. Right. Sorry. A little overeager there, Baldera. Oh, hush. I cleared my throat. Apologies, Milo. I meant no disrespect. Frankly, I'm happy to hear that the sole point of contention is a stolen vase. It simplifies things quite a bit. Would you mind giving your account of the supposed theft? It would be hugely helpful. Fine. Start when those two came at my restaurant. The service was just for a meal. Those two referring to Thane and Yi. No, Yi and Zauchi. And Zauchi is the shorter man in the corner. Yeah. And shorter, really, and that's my descriptor? Yeah. It's succinct, sir. Quit being so sensitive. Anyway, before long, these two are harassing me, threatening me for protection money. Now. Don't mischaracterize the interaction. I'm simply offering you a business opportunity. Security's important, and my firm was willing to sell it to you. Willing is putting it lightly. You were pretty clearly threatening me. I'm sorry if my tone was overly hostile. Mr. Yi, I will get to your account shortly. Of course, my apologies. So then, Milo, what happened next? You kept harassing me, bringing me back to the employees' lounge. The private room, which means he could be even more pushy. Was nobody else in the restaurant at this point? No, just these thugs. Probably a calculated move on their part. Anyways, dealing with you was exhausting. I told him my answer was final, and I ordered him to go back to the front of the restaurant. I retreated into the kitchen for a brief moment just to collect my thoughts. Dealing with them is frankly exhausting. Nobody else was in the kitchen at the time of the incident. I told my employees to leave and take a break when I saw Yi and his whole squad enter. Understandable. After a moment's respite, I left the kitchen back into the restaurant. Where I went to the table Yi and Zauchi were at to begin pleading with them. So at this point I noticed Thane had made his way into the restaurant at some point. He was sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant. Still, I paid him no mind. At first. Too busy dealing with Yi. But before I knew it, I heard the sound of the kitchen door opening. I turned back and saw Thane gone. He had clearly walked into the kitchen. I ran over to the kitchen, but by the time I entered, he had already made his way to the kitchen and into the employee lounge. I followed after him and saw him standing right by the safe in which I kept my precious vase. questioned him about what he was doing there. He claimed he was just touring the area. I didn't buy it for a second. I opened the safe and what do you know? It's missing. I had checked the safe a few fucking hours ago. It was there. Nobody else suspicious had entered the building since. Clearly these rats stole and broke the vase to try and intimidate me into accepting their little racket. Well, I wouldn't have it. Geez, this guy sure likes hearing his own voice, huh? Mind if I say what actually happened? Milo, have you finished giving the relevant points to the sequence of events? Pretty much. After I noticed the vase had been stolen, I called you guys over. And you didn't let any of us out of sight since then, right? Of course not. Don't want you messing with the crime scene after all. At all. Splendid. Then by all means, you give your explanation. I don't have anything that contradicts how Milo told it. Just a different color to the whole story. Look, my associates and I all represent Tutelar Inc., a very well-respected protection company dozens of Panthean stores employ. Because you forced them into it. Apologies for Milo. Anybody who knows him will tell you he has a thing for hysterics. I'll be the first to admit I played the little hardball when trying to close a deal. What good salesman doesn't? But extortion? Please. Nothing like that happened. Certainly nothing I said would count as extortion in court, for what that's worth. For what it's worth, that is the sort of distinction somebody in the business of extortion would mind. So it is, huh? Look, lady, I'm just trying to save both of us the time. Yeah, play a little hardball trying to close a deal, yeah. I play a little hardball. Not extortion. Please. Yeah, nothing I said would count as extortion in court for what that's worth. What it's worth, that's the sort of distinction somebody in the business of extortion would say, yeah. We think of it that way. That's definitely something that someone in the business of extortion would say. And by all means, I respect that. Now, you do? Hush now, Milo. You and I are speaking. Anyway, in terms of sequence of events, I don't have anything to really dispute. I brought Milo to the employees area to have a discussion. I'm getting a weird feeling from this. Especially since we know it goes not Milo's way. I saw the aforementioned safe sitting nice and pretty there at the time. Got upset, went to the kitchen. Spent no more than a few seconds admiring the employees area atmosphere before returning to the main area of the restaurant. Thane, a friend of mine, entered the restaurant while I was speaking with Milo. Milo came out and discussed the business deal in further detail, up close and personal. So I simply missed Thane wandering off to the kitchen. He likes to do that. He's a wanderer. And then, well, you know the rest. I am so sorry that dear old Milo had his precious heirloom stolen. Truly, I bear him no ill will. I admire his tenacity in trying to get the vase back. The simple matter of the fact of the matter is, neither me nor my associates have anything to do with the vanishing vase. Okay, I think I get a picture of things. That's enough witness testimony. Seth, Baldera, can you fill in the details from here? Well, not much more to say, lad. Seth and I were on our way back from another investigation when I got the call to check this place out. You're some of the first on the scene. Interesting. It feels like something's amiss here with how we're approaching this case. But this is still very clearly Laverna. The layout of the place is complicated. Got the main restaurant sort of area here. Tables, menus, cashier desk, etc. You also have some restrooms over there, but that's not really relevant. And you have the door to the kitchen on this one side of that back wall and the door to the employee area on the other. Then the two are connected with another door. The employee area also has a fairly high up window. When we arrived, it was closed. That's where fake Thane went to kill, should Say where fake Thane went to kill Milo. Right, that's worth saying. The window that fake Thane shoved Milo out of, also the same. According to Milo, it's new. Right. Since he and his boys started hounding me, I got worried for my vase. Looks like I was right, too. Went to a nearby security shop a bit over a week ago, bought one of their standard secure safes. Changed the combination so only I'd know how to open it. Though it also has a safety key that can be used to open it as well. Right. Forensically speaking, we haven't found anything that interesting. The good news, investigatorily speaking, are 2 key cameras that get some good stuff. One of them's from an ATM machine outside the street, across from the store. See, the window in the employees' area is above a dumpster in an alleyway. The ATM camera doesn't quite get the best view of that place, but it does sort of get the further half of the alleyway. Basically, it doesn't quite see the actual window or the dumpster. It sees enough of that, and we can rule out the idea of anyone entering or leaving the restaurant through that window. If they did that, they'd probably get seen by the camera somewhat. On the other entrance or exits, front doors in the restaurant area. The other camera is one mounted in the top corner of the main restaurant area. Gets a decent look at the whole scene. Yeah, it more or less corroborates the testimonies Milo and Yi gave. There's one interesting bit. When Yi and Milo were in the employees area, that's when Thane entered the restaurant. His back turned towards the camera. Instead of taking a seat, he walked right towards the kitchen door. A moment or two later, he exited the kitchen and made his way back to his seat. I was looking for where Yi and Milo were. I started my search of the kitchen. There I overheard their two's argument. I decided it was my place to get involved and return. That your story? Yes. Well, there you have it. Seth very agreeable to the Duats stories. Understandably, since he is in their pocket. Anything else noteworthy about the footage? The spare key to the safe was left in Milo's work apron. The camera actually catches him hanging it up beside the clerk's desk. The camera has it in view the entire time. That's actually not technically true. When Thane first makes his way to the kitchen, he briefly passes in front of the keys. Yeah, but he's too far for the keys to grab them, and everyone else is accounted for. What does that matter? Just, wanted to be thorough. Correct impulse, Baldera. Any information, however seemingly innocuous, is important to my process. You don't need a process. The evidence is obvious. These thugs have been harassing me for over a week at this point. I refuse their advances. And they show up when my vase goes missing. It's obviously what happened. Obvious, you say? Pray tell, how would you construct the story from a god's perspective? Huh? I think I was asking you what you think happened in specifics. Oh, easy. They went to the employee area. Broke into my safe. But he knew he couldn't smuggle the vase out. So he just broke it into pieces. Then he hid the pieces, knowing that they were a lot easier to hide. Okay, where'd he hide them? Hid the pieces, you say? Yeah. Well, I know I hate to do this, but you're not thinking clearly. Checked out the employee area front to back. There weren't any vase shards hidden anywhere. Nor were they on his body. The report there was nowhere for that vase to go. It seemed possible for Thane to have stolen that vase. But no, that can't be. It has to be him. It has to be. That's the only thing that makes sense. Don't worry, Milo, I've got your back. It's pretty damn clear that the Duats stole this vase to me. Sure, maybe there wasn't a place to hide the vase, nor was it possible to get it out of the restaurant through the front entrance. However, there's still one way to get it out. That's the window. Maybe a person would have been seen in that ATM camera. Just the vase could easily be dropped straight down into the dumpster, and nobody would be the wiser. Perhaps this is a little obvious of a question, but that dumpster has been checked, correct? Of course. Nothing showed up. Doesn't prove anything. Like I said, the ATM camera's only got half the sidewalk. The sneaky accomplice, the vase could have easily been retrieved by an accomplice of Yi waiting in the wings. Mr. Yi, you were alone in the employee area after Milo stormed into the kitchen, correct? Yes, ma'am. Then couldn't you have stolen the vase right then and there? You could have broken into the safe, taken out the vase, and chucked it right into the dumpster. Why didn't you just save us some time to confess? Ah, man, I'm going to hate proving you wrong. It's not fun to crush a bright spirit like yours. You liar, you enjoy it quite a bit. Sad to say, but that's impossible. How's that? Milo, only you know the passcode to the safe, right? Yeah? In a week or two so you've had the safe, you don't think your spare key could have been stolen? Answer honestly, Milo. You can't prove it hasn't been stolen. Okay, well, let me ask the police. Somebody buys a safe, worried that their heirloom's going to get yanked. Do you think they're inclined to leave the key to said safe unattended? Doesn't seem likely, does it? It doesn't, sir. Very good. But then I'd ask you all this. With no knowledge of the passcode and no opportunity to make a duplicate key, how exactly do you propose I broke into this safe? I mean, you all bandy that term around so frequently, making it seem like just a thing that people can do. Why, if that were the case, what would be the point of safes at all? They wouldn't be very safe at all. Man in the corner sniggers some. Shut up, Zouchi. You deny the existence of lockpicking. I acknowledge it, sure. I don't acknowledge is that this master lockpicker that can break open a lock in a matter of seconds. It's only in that your employee area for a moment or two. The camera will attest to that. Not just me. Milo followed in short step after my good friend Thane. Neither of us had much time all alone with the safe. Maybe if we had a key, knew the passcode, sure, we could have done something. Breaking into a safe in that time. Totally impossible. You can't deny the possibility. I will say... Maybe we haven't seen the full picture yet. Maybe we haven't seen the full picture yet, or maybe it's the whole point of this. Maybe it's the full point of this, but after seeing that episode with Thane and Yi giving their retribution to Milo and whatnot, maybe I'm just a little underwhelmed by the actual or initial crime here that Milo was snitching on. Would just be really good lockpicks. Like I said, maybe we're not seeing the full picture yet, but this is a little deflating. Not the angle you're going to take on this. Alright then, take that save in for examination. Test for signs of forced entry. Look all you want for it. When you find none, I want you to look for a single lockpicker on this earth that can break into a fresh safe in less than 10 seconds without leaving a trace. You do that for me and I'll confess right here and now. That's... problem for Baldera was, he was right. The situation Baldera had proposed was improbable at best. So you see, there were exactly 2 points that either Yi or Thane were alone with the safe. Neither lasted more than 10 seconds. You can't get into that safe without a passcode, the keys, or without breaking into the safe. We didn't know the passcode. Couldn't grab the keys. Couldn't break into a safe in less than 10 seconds. All those facts combined to prove one simple truth. This supposed thief isn't Thane, and it sure as shit isn't me. Now if you want to keep us here, then try and disprove one of those facts, or try and find a way that they can all be true and we still stole the safe. I'm sure you'll find either a trying task, to say the least. The room was silent. Very well then, it was time for the detective to emerge. Milo, would you mind if I examine this safe for myself? Sure. It's still in the employee area. Thank you. I'll be back in a moment. Just like that, I left the confused group to their own devices. Entered the employee area. He was right, it was a nice room. But no time to dilly-dally. I had to confirm something. I walked up to the safe. Slightly ajar, sitting in the corner of the room on a lonely table. Examined the sides of it. The dimensions. Reached forward and grabbed it from the bottom. Held it up to my chest. It was a pretty small safe, all things considered. It's but a small vase. Picked it up with both hands off the table, holding it low. It wasn't that heavy. Tried walking with it. transport it fairly easily. Okay. Placed it back on the table. Then I looked up to the window. Examined the window's size. Looked up to it and jumped. With effort, I could easily touch the bottom of the window from the ground. Alright. This was fun, but it wasn't too hard of a puzzle. So it rude to have expected a harder challenge. No matter. We entered the main restaurant area. It seemed little of importance had occurred in my absence. Excellent. You know, deductions don't need to be one-sentence affairs. As you're creating your deduction, you might see a period pop up on screen. It means a period will appear at that point in your final deduction, so you should split up your syntax accordingly. Just a silly little thing to keep you on your toes, don't worry about it. Bet you won't even notice it's there. Okay. Deduction time. That was a very fortuitous break in recording here. Unintentional, but gave you the perfect time to work out the deduction while taking a phone call. So, you haven't seen the connecting words yet, or the period yet, but there's two thoughts we have to put together here. Obviously, we're presented with the idea of a decoy save, and based on what Lav was doing, hefting the small safe, testing how easily she could get to the window, the obvious thought is replace the whole safe with a decoy. And in that vein, Thane, the 2 points of reference here are Thane's original trip into the kitchen and Yee's and the swapping of the saves. So, the kitchen was unoccupied because Milo was talking in the employee area. So, Thane could bring something to the kitchen. If I remember what I actually did. I think I got this backwards. I was talking to the employee area, and camera faced Thane's back. So, Thane could bring something to the kitchen. There's our full stop. Now, if there's a decoy save, then I feel like I might have this backwards, but then he could smuggle the safe out the window without being caught when he was alone. Hope I got that order of events right. If there's a decoy safe, then you can smuggle the safe out the window without being caught when he was alone. Now do I have my facts? Yes! Okay. Attention. Attention, everybody. I will now be solving the crime. Oh? Just like that, will you? My. That's impressive. You know what happened, Laverna? I knew I brought you in for a reason. Of course I know what happened, Seth. I am a detective, after all. That is my job. We'll get on with it. Relax, relax. Milo, you made one key mistake in all this. A mistake that occurred before you or Thane even entered the restaurant. The issue is that you brought a common safe from a common store. Because of that, you opened yourself up to a rather unique angle of attack. Huh? I'll explain. So you thought it odd how Thane entered the restaurant, but made his way to the kitchen. He was back to the camera the whole time. Well, I found it slightly unnatural. It was then that it dawned on me. What if that shielding was intentional? What if it was to hide a rather large prop needed for the swindle? Prop? I introduce you to a new concept previously not imagined. That is the existence of a decoy safe. One prepared beforehand, completely empty, for the purpose of this heist. It is perhaps a fantastical prop. Introduce it, and many things fall into place. It better if he expects us to buy into a second safe, Laverna. I haven't seen any evidence of it. And that's the key, isn't it? Oh, well, I, for one, am interested. How exactly does this spare safe change things? Simple. It allows this whole swindle to occur. You see, Thane blocks out the relatively small safe from the camera with his backside. In the kitchen, he hides the safe out of sight, in a closet below a table anywhere that isn't immediately visible. Then he returns to the first step of the plan carried out. Next up comes the actual theft. This occurs when Milo decides to leave Yi unoccupied in the employee area. An understandable blunder, but a fatal one. He then takes it upon himself to dispose of the safe. Picks it up, and with some difficulty drops the whole thing through the window. And yes, that is the core illusion. The safe was never broken into, at least not on the premises. He threw out the safe wholesale, which would take mere seconds, then casually strolled back out with it to the main restaurant area. Wow, how brave of me. Then if Milo decided to return to the restaurant area through the employees area, would be a somewhat unorthodox line of movement on his end. However, had that been the case, he likely would have freaked out and went straight up to your table to chastise you. In that case, I imagine you'd play dumb, and then the whole plan would play out much the same way it did in this case. The only difference would be that your scheme would be a bit more apparent, and Milo would be confused by the disappearing and reappearing safe. Oh? Could you please explain to us how exactly the rest of this played out, though? I thought you smart, Yi. But I really need to spell it out. Thane's little tour was nothing of the sort. It's an obvious lie from the start. It was a worthwhile sacrifice, storming the proverbial gates, as you will. Because of that, you were able to finish the cover-up. Thane went to grab the decoy safe he stashed in the kitchen. Then, as Milo went over to the kitchen to stop him, he made his way to the employee area to replace the missing safe. Right as he finished the deed, Milo walked in and saw him standing right in front of the replaced safe. And just like that, a beautiful theft. Nothing beautiful about it. That's downright scummy. It's a little beautiful. A little? Just a smidge. The concept of the thing here. Quit it, Lav. More to the point, I think there's some people who need to explain themselves. Bullshit. A lot of it. Is that right? And please, have at me with your counter-arguments. The safe. It'd still be in the dumpster. How do you explain that? How would you explain this? The ATM camera wasn't flawless. You just had one of your Duat boys waiting in the wings, ready to snatch up the thrown-out safe. That's easy, Thane. Leave this to me. I got this. Thane looked over to Yi. Then he shut up. That's quite a nice story, Miss Smith. Really, I'm impressed by you. I don't say that often. I'm sad to say I don't think it'll hold water. Oh? And why's that? The safe. Do you believe I know the story that you brought it from, Milo? Of course you do. The detective said you got a copy. Who's to say? But Milo, if I remember correctly, the safes there have sales stickers plastered on their bottoms. Wonder, Milo, did you ever bother removing that? Well, I mean, I don't think so. Ah, Milo. You have to remove those things. They're really an eyesore. But if it's only on the bottom of the safe, I suppose you don't think to check. Milo, when exactly did you get this safe? 9 days ago. Time of the day? About 5 o'clock, I'd say. Excellent, excellent. Seth, would you mind bringing us the safe in the employee area and checking the seal? Okay. A little uneasy, Seth walked over to the employee area. What are you getting at, Yi? If Ernest's theory holds up, then surely the sales sticker will be different. This new safe couldn't have an identical sales sticker. What? That doesn't prove anything. If the sticker matches Milo's purchase, that doesn't clear you. Just take it off the first one and put it on the new one. Just rip it off the old safe and place it on the new? That's not possible. I knew you were a smart one, Laverna. Miss Baldera, you ever tried peeling off one of those sales stickers? Especially one that's been left on a sale for over 9 days. Safe. It's pretty fucking hard. I mean, you can do it, but you'll usually tear a bit of it somewhere. Truly peel off the full thing without the slightest indication that it had been removed. It takes a lot of time and, frankly, tools. Doing that freehand in 10 seconds is pretty unbelievable. Seriously? That childish reasoning is what you're using to your defense? It is a bit silly, I'll have to admit. But it holds up. He's right. Bring the sticker in the 10 seconds he had without any trace of tear or whatever. Tear where? That'd be on top of actually lifting and throwing the safe out the window. It's way too tight. Okay, what if the person on the outside who grabbed the safe from the dumpster removed the sticker? Ah, yes, I thought that would come up. What you proposed is more than possible. However, when exactly would they have given that sticker back to Thane? There's no opportunity. They could have thrown it back through the window? Then what? Did Thane place that sticker on the new safe in the exact perfect place when he reached the employee area? That's possible, sure. But then he'd have to close the window since it was found closed. Then he'd need to put the safe back on the table. That was the last thing he did since Milo saw him by that table when he walked in. Again, aren't you overestimating the time Thane had? Ever since Milo looked in that empty safe, we've all been in this sight. He said so himself. His combination worked on the new safe. So unless... like, if they'd just replaced his safe with a brand new safe. How'd he open the safe to check it was empty? So with Milo as our witness, we never had a chance to tamper with the safe. It was at this point Seth entered the room, holding the safe. He had a disappointed look on his face. The sticker. Matches the time and date Milo said. That can't be. You just bought your safe right at the same time. Wow, must have been on the ball to pull that one off, eh? But no. Check the store for the specific details of the purchase if you want. You must have faked the sticker! Alright, Milo, this is just getting sad to hear. Again, to do that, we need to know all the details of your store transaction ahead of time, which, impossible. If you really bother, I'd go and do some forensics. See if the sticker matches the one from the store saves. Seth, you didn't see any sign of wear or tear? Check for yourself, Baldera. Looks like it's come right out of a store. I think would be able to rip it off cleanly. So, I think this disproves Laverna's theory. Fingerprints. Huh? We'll check the safe for fingerprints. I'm right, if the safe was switched out, then it won't have Milo's fingerprints. That should prove foul play, right? Cute, very cute. Sad to say, Milo does have fingerprints on it. Remember, he made a huge fuss about checking the safe, and he was the one who found the vase missing, right? That also raises the question of the combination. Either the combination, or the safe key that chips with every version of this model of safe is identical. Maybe. But then again, this is Milo we're talking about. He's a bit of a perfection freak. Easily could have wiped down the safe to keep it nice and shiny. He does that and these previous fingerprints vanish. I haven't wiped down the safe once. So you say. Fortunately, I don't think that testimony will hold up. I think it's been proven pretty clearly that you have a grudge against me, as ill-placed as it may be. You clearly mistakenly believe I'm responsible for everything that goes wrong in your life. If it would help bring me to justice, you could easily falsely claim that you had never wiped down the safe. Your testimony would never hold up in court, and it'd be inconclusive at best. You asshole! Language. Seth had to grab Milo to break up another fight. So now can we say Laverna's theory is disproven? I wanted to speak up. To wipe that smug smirk off this criminal asshat. He was clearly lying through his teeth. We knew. He was gloating in it. To prove it. Theory was right, I knew that much. His weirdly defensive reaction to my fingerprint suggestion had practically proven it. The stickers. How to get around the stickers? They swapped? How? I had some ideas, but they were half-baked and had holes. Ultimately, I had to hold my tongue. Alright then. Does anybody have any theories other than Laverna's about how either Thane or I could have stolen the vase? Again, he was met with silence. He had thoroughly stumped the room. The silence became resounding. He clapped his hands together. Brilliant. Well, then I think that's our cue to leave, then. Huh? You can't do that. No, I most certainly can. I think I've just proven rather conclusively that you all have no reasonable justification for suspecting us for this theft. We've given all of our testimony. truly extend my apologies to Milo. Hope you are able to find the thieves who burgled your precious heirloom. If there's nothing else, I do not believe you all have the authority to detain us for any longer. For a third time, nobody was able to bring up anything. Pierre wanted to say something to keep him here, to trap him. His barrage of hard-hitting questions had effectively bullied us into submission. He had his little gang surrounded. Despite that, he was going to manage to slip away. Lovely chatting with you all. Nice meeting you too, Laverna. Though I hope we don't meet again. Come on, Zouchi, Thane. We're done here. Those were the last words any of the three men spoke. Instead, they all just strolled out of the restaurant. We're all powerless to stop them. Baldera turned to Milo. I am so sorry. Really, we tried to do our best. Just, you know. I mean, you saw it, right? Baldera was really struggling to get words out. Just save it. Huh? I said just save it. Don't need your apologies. Need you to do your job. And you failed. Completely. It's a little harsh, don't you think? Keep the investigation open. Surely... Save it. Let them get away. You're not going to reel them back in. I know how this works. It's... Do you know what I just did? How much shit I'm in? You don't try and stitch the Duats. You just don't. Everybody knows that. Just understanding. I just did. You failed to follow through. You know what that means? It means I'm screwed. That's not... Oh, but it is. I stick my neck out for you guys by reporting this. I was giving you a chance to get a win. And you flubbed it. You failed it. You lost your chance to actually do some damage to the Duats. Like that, it's gone. Ah, yes, damage for petty theft. Proof. I'm stuck holding the bag. I'm stuck standing here going to have to answer the consequences. Sir, if you feel intimidated, you can make a statement. You can request protection. We can put you under surveillance. How long? Huh? No, everybody knows that without proof, police protection doesn't mean shit. It buys a few days, weeks at most. Eventually it goes away. That's when it snaps you. No, I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to go with my own form of protection. Thank you very much. Because of incompetent officers like you, Duats run the streets. People like you that can prove to everybody why that you can't trust the police. You know your whole posse is the laughingstock of the locals, right? Yeah, well, it's for a good reason. You'd be ashamed of yourself. You should think about what exactly you're doing. Alright, that's enough, buddy. Excuse me? No, excuse you. Get you in some shit right now, and we'll try to help you out, but frankly, you're not doing yourself any favors. Got anything worthwhile you actually want to say? Is it weird that I... Like, on one hand, yes, you're right, the police are absolutely not in the business of protecting. They should be, but they're not. Especially in this. In reality and in Panthea. But... yeah, I'm... Seth, the Duat sympathizer. No, as a matter of fact, I believe I'm done. As luck would have it, I kinda have a lot of things I need to work out now. In a huff, Milo turned around and went to the back of the store. Baldera looked pretty shaken. Seth grabbed her arm. Hey, forget that jackass. He's salty. He's right. He's unimportant. How many years have you been on the force? Are you still getting shaken up by the emotional shouts of every grieving victim? My vase! No. Then good. Now come on, we've got work to do. If this is the extent of the crime that gets Milo into shit, then... okay. Then my stance is definitely that it's meant to talk about the disproportionate retribution of the Duats here. Disproportionate Duats. I think that's the takeaway for this. I was expecting it to be like a murder or something of someone close to Milo, maybe. But a petty theft. It is important. I get it's important to him, but it just feels a bit silly. Stake everything on that. I began to exit the store. Whatever my current thoughts may be, I wasn't content to let Baldera leave just yet. I had something I've been looking to tell her for a while. If I didn't bring it up now, who knew when I'd next get a chance. Hey, wait. Lav? Seth, would you mind if I stole Baldera from you for just a minute? Something I wish to ask her. Alright. Ask away. It is something of a private matter. Private matter? Only can tell her, but not me. I'm offended. It's related to a lady's sensibilities. Believe me, neither you nor me wishes for your presence in this conversation. If you say so. Well played. I'll be the police car, Baldera. Seth clearly didn't like the idea of leaving me free to talk with Baldera. But he also knew pushing the issue would be pointless. Once he left the restaurant, I took a seat at a nearby table. Baldera remained standing. Alright, Laverna. You've got me. What do you want to ask? Think what you will. I am just as aware as the next person that my manner of speaking is, in some ways, unrefined. That's why dwelling on ways to word this delicately is almost certainly time that could be better spent simply getting to the matter at hand. So then, seek not the intentions behind my words. They're going to convey some information to you. Interpret it as you wish. Alright. First off, Seth. Seth? I've looked into his record. His record? His police record, Baldera. Keep up. I obtained it from Ariane. Oh. That doesn't seem like the sort of thing the chief would do. Well, this plays off of her last case in, yeah. Her last episode. The murder that wasn't. When she talked with Ariane at the end. Just trust me. Baldera didn't need to know about how I got this info. About how weak the police's record-keeping digital security was. Ah, okay. Not Ariane. Eris. The point of the matter is, Seth has been on an unnatural number of cases with suspected ties to the Duat matters. Most of the time his involvement was either as a result of his physical proximity towards the scene of the crime, or him volunteering for that particular case. So? It's a small force we have here. We're strapped for officers. Doesn't mean much. That alone doesn't mean much. However, it appears that there is a near one-to-one correlation with Seth's presence on a Duat-related case, its inability to bring about prosecution. It's to say there aren't plenty of cases where Seth wasn't around that no prosecutions were brought. That's to say that in almost every Duat-related case Seth has been a part of, nobody was found accountable. Laverna, what are you saying? As I said at the beginning, I am simply providing information. But, come on, Baldera. You know him better than anybody. If there's anything to be assumed, you should, on some level, sense it. Perhaps you have already sensed it. Careful, lad. I like you, but I've known Seth for a lot longer. Okay, then. Let us move on, then, shall we? There's more? A bit more. I'd like to discuss the Cock Robin murders. Baldera was confused by this seemingly left turn, as was I. I recently looked over the past cases. A certain detail caught my eye. Initial officers on the scene. Scanning through it, one name popped up far more frequently than the others. Chief of Police Ariane. Ariane? But, oh, what does that matter? Are you saying she has something to do with the items left behind? Just in case you forgot. What you yourself just said, she was around more often, not all the time. Hell, she was on the other side of the city the night you learned about them. Certainly. However, previously, the thing that led us to believe that this was the work of a serial killer was the fact that no discernible pattern between the victims could be found. However, if we view the murders committed where Ariane was not present like a separate list, my line of thinking now wavers. Admittedly, I can't see a clear motive, even with the reduced list. The victims Ariane certainly couldn't have planted evidence on, are all people of either high status or with some importance. Need to dig more. The possibility of finding a through line with this list of suspects seems, at the very least, possible. Laverna, you can't seriously be accusing... I am not, mind you, accusing anyone of anything. I am simply providing information. That right? It is. Which brings me to my third point. Murder of Issa. Laverna... Baldera now seemed full-on hostile. Tragic event. Yeah, it was. Absolutely awful. Sometimes bad things happen in this line of work, you just gotta move forwards. The rain falls with no one to blame. But in this case, there was someone to blame, was there not? The robber. He was eventually caught and brought before court. But despite being pegged for the robbery, couldn't find any evidence of him being convicted for the murder. Couldn't find any enough evidence to put the bastard away for it. Doesn't mean anything, though. Was this the, trying to recall this, because it's been a while since this was brought up. Was this, Seth's partner in Baldera's family? In that regard. I want to say yes. Does it not? Where Seth was on the scene when he died. Tell me, was Chief of Police Ariane accounted for the night Issa was shot? Oh. Huh? I don't know. Then were you? Excuse me? You said you were listening in from a separate location on the police radio. Is there any way to corroborate your position? Okay, that's it. Baldera began to turn away and leave. He reached out and grabbed her arm. Hold on. Why should I? Just listen, would you? I asked because I want to believe you. You want to? Just like everybody else, I looked into you, Miss Vasquez. I couldn't find any trace that you are anybody but an upstanding police officer who harbors a deep love for his city. Maybe that just means you are particularly good at erasing your tracks. I suspect it means you are something that's rare. A true, untainted soul. Somebody who earnestly strives for the best. Somebody who can be trusted, depended, counted on, the type of person this city so desperately needs. I don't know about all that. Nor do I. But that is my most optimistic approximation of your character. I desperately hope it to be true. Again, Lav, what are you doing here? What do you get out of telling me all this? I'm telling you this because, for better or for worse, I am choosing to place my trust in you. I think we both wish to get to the truth behind this city. Truly make it live up to its potential. The more I look at the past and the present, it appears as though people like us don't have long shelf lives. What is that supposed to mean? What it means. I thought about what to say. It's up for you to decide. I said I'm simply giving you pieces. Assemble the puzzle however you wish. Huh. Scorn me for my suspicions if you wish. Perhaps such scorn is warranted. Bring these pieces to you, Baldera, for your own good. I think you ought to be fully equipped to the nines, both with equipment and information. You deserve to have the fullest capability in determining who is friend or foe. The two of us just stared for a moment. Baldera usually wore her emotions on her sleeve. Times like these, where I couldn't get a beat on her, were rare. Eventually, she just sighed. Thanks for the tip, Lav. Just like that, she turned around and walked out of the store. Oh well. Was that a mistake? Did I move too early? The seeds I sowed enough. Was I placing my mistrust in the right people? My trust in the right people? I couldn't say. I could do what I thought was best. It seemed like the best move to make. And so I made it. Well now, aren't things starting to heat up in old Laverna land? Not really with the whole vase thing, but because, come on, who the fuck cares about that? Thank you! The stolen vase, get over it. I mean, we already know what that dipshit Milo gets a bullet to the forehead, so really, what's the use of retreading any of this? Imagine this whole little plotline is going to be dropped from here on out. Besides that, it feels like Laverna is slowly uncovering the police force's rot. At least she has theories. Seth being a Duat agent, Ariane having something to do with the Cock Robin murders, there being more to Issa's disappearance. Sneaky stuff, gotta say. And she's giving this info to Baldera. Are we to assume, then, that she trusts Baldera? What if that's so wise? Anyway, the thing I'm most interested in is Laverna's little theory about Ariane. I mean, Ariane, the Cock Robin killer. Certainly makes a certain amount of sense. If we didn't already meet the Cock Robin killer. We'd certainly make a compelling theory towards that. Laverna apparently has. I don't know, feels a little cliché. There are some oddities in that story, if you ask me. Then again, perhaps it is that simple. Laverna certainly has an impressive track record with finding the truth. She's probably right. I don't know. Say, this feels like a decent thing to bet on, right? Yeah, come on, it'll be fun. So, what do you think? You don't get to just answer if Ariane is generally sketchy. That's already in the air. I want to know specifically if you think Ariane is playing an active, knowing, willing part in the Cock Robin murders. So, okay, now this shakes things up a little bit. Is she a direct and knowing accomplice in the Cock Robin murders? We have a lot of chips to bet, so we better make this good. We know who the Cock Robin killer is, that's Devin. We also know that there's oddities in some of the Cock Robin killings. Devin, the Cock Robin killer, isn't aware of. Which really stems back to the extra Cock Robin victim at the Governor Aisha's gala in the first chapter. Aisha denied her involvement in this, but if Ariane is subservient to Aisha in the power structure of things, or if they are both subservient to a higher power in all these things, then perhaps the extra victim was mandated. And Ariane's role. I feel like the answer to this bet is going to come down to that first killing. In literally part 1 of this playthrough. Part 1. The extra body that was discovered and just kind of left behind. Mentioned once we met the actual Cock Robin killer. The answer to this bet is going to come down to what happened to that first victim and who was responsible for that first victim. I feel like that is going to be the case. I feel like it's something for us to bet on. Ourselves. It's between you and I. How many chips are you putting down for that one? So we're going to let you vote. We're going to let you vote on this result. And then, just out of curiosity, I'm going to see, is the answer to this bet, is it going to hinge on that first killing? Part 1. We'll find out. Till next time. Till then, thanks for watching.